jumping in here at the last. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a Mario Nawfal Crypto Daily Show. You're here with Pulse Digital, and my co-host today is going to be Buzz DeFi, and we're going to be here curating a crypto conversation with you with guests from DTF. We're going to have a conversation about all kinds of things, actually, a broad conversation about meme coins, crypto, AI, GameFi, wherever it goes. But as the curator of this conversation, the first thing I want to do is bounce around the room a little bit and say hi to some of the faces. I know some of y'all, and some of you I don't. So let's start with some of the faces I know. Taco, I see you. How are you doing today, man?
GM, man, it is a great day. It's been an amazing week. And
Maddie, I got to get that mic muted, bro. You're killing me on that mic. Matt.
It is a great Friday. It has been an amazing week. Pulse, it is always good to see you and be up here on Mario's round table. And we have a fun table, I think, with us today.
Should be a good show, man. I appreciate you being in here, particularly on a Friday afternoon, man. Nevin, how are you doing, man?
Doing well. Nice to meet you guys. Excited to talk about DTF. Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to the conversation as we go through everything. The only difference between here and space is we can't really raise hands. So as we get going through stuff, feel free to jump in where you guys feel it's appropriate. MemeIndexer down there in that profile. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us today. Excited to talk about what we're building here and what we believe in.
Yep, excited. For those of you that haven't been to one of the shows before, we're going to have a full AMA with DTF and talk about exactly what they are building and get into that towards the end for about that last 20 minutes. So stick around if you want to hear more from them. Block, my guy, good to see you on a Friday. What's up?
Man, everything is up except for the market at the moment, but that's not bothering me. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, let's get into it.
Friday's payday for a lot of people, though, so there's a chance that people are just now rushing home right now to do their DCAs on Friday, so we'll talk about why that might not be a problem, I think. Maddie, how are you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about DTFs, and yeah, sorry, I'm having some technical issues.
Appreciate you for being here too, man. Yaz, how are you today?
I'm good. Super excited to be here. Thanks again for the invitation. For those who might not be familiar with me, co-founder and chief growth officer at Galaxy Fight Club, and more recently Open Market Group, so deep into anything Web3 gaming, AI, and especially RWA as well.
Appreciate you for being here, man. Looking forward to the conversation. And Buzz, I got to check in because I haven't had a spaces with you yet, man. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I mean, of course, the last 48 hours since Jerome Powell's speech have put some antsiness, you could say, within the market. But yeah, I've been having some really great conversations with some AI leaders in the space. I'm very excited about that. Spoke with Roperito this morning, who's doing some really cool stuff with his agents, and I continue to be mystified by what's going on in the meme world. And some of these memes really holding up in what seems like a more tumultuous macro market. So I'm excited for this conversation.
Well, out of all the shows I've had today, would you believe this is going to be the first one I can openly talk about who woke up today and posted on X for the first time in 2 weeks? Haley Welch dropped a post, and I was so excited to see this because I have had so many opinions about this, and I haven't held back, and it was exactly what I expected underneath it. First of all, she's going with the "I didn't know what was going on" excuse. You guys have seen this. I don't want to assume. You guys saw that Haley Welch posted. This is Hawk Tua Girl. She launched the token with Doc Hollywood, which was apparently a mistake in her opinion, and is now posted after 2+ weeks of silence that she is choosing to take part in some sort of a class action lawsuit against those who misled her into tarnishing her brand. And for me, this was exactly what I told you guys was going to happen. She's going to plead ignorance as a defense. The simps are going to run to her defense. I made a post about it. I'm a jerk online professionally. I'm upset at how this is going to turn out because I'm afraid that everyone's just going to be like, oh, she's young and we should forgive her. And it's just going to be something we forget about. And I'm so excited to have this panel of people here to talk about it because we got meme experts in the house. And I think they understand the sentiment that goes into this. So let's go around the room because Taco, I know you've been waiting on this one. And then we'll go to Nevin and start making our way around.
Yeah, no, it is a big push on. I saw that when that went live from Haley as well. I did a little more research in that attorney. I've seen that attorney around in crypto a little bit for the last couple months. Did a class action with the Jenner token as well. I don't know the results of where that's at, but it's sometimes when you're doing that thing, it's just looking for a payout, whether it's, they're going to go after Pump.Fun, they're going to go after someone else, but that whole ignorance thing, you can launch a token on Pump.Fun and have good things happen. We saw that this week in the positive vibes around that, and there was an opportunity for this. People shared the contract too early, and that's what we saw.
And I just can't imagine people are going to completely hold her accountable the way that you and I would want. We tend to be the hard asses in this situation. And I think people are just going to say it was okay, though, Taco.
I don't. Yeah, no. She's going to play on that Southern charm she has. And whether or not she knew that ignorance is not a defense. But this is when you get into something too deep. We've seen the complete opposite happen. And so I'm sort of excited to watch this. I will have my popcorn and my C4 ready. But man, this is the next steps. I don't know if we're going to hear from her again. I think this is just a post we're going to see that was particularly crafted and given to her. Yeah.
Paul, so you can these outcomes are not mutually exclusive. Like you can be ignorant and taken advantage of, but also still be in the wrong. So that's that's where I'm at with it. Like, yes, I think she was ignorant to the crypto market and potentially taken advantage of by a group of developers and whatnot who knew a lot more than her. But that doesn't mean that she's not in the wrong. She has a fiduciary responsibility to know what she's doing when putting her name behind something.
So
that's true.
I admit I know a little bit less, but I feel like I have to play the other side here. So from my perspective, is what you guys are saying that, like, what do you think happened, like, in the background? What is your story about what actually happened?
You want me to go off? I'll go off.
Yeah. Tell me. What do you think?
All right, so I don't normally do this in the hosting thing unless somebody asks me to. But what I think happened in the background is, and by the way, no one's asked me to do this yet. I think what happened is she was absolutely pitched by every single potential token launcher over the summer. It was from the minute that she hit X, everything was memeified here, even before she had an understanding of what was going on. And we knew the value before she ever did. So I think she had her chance to have Ansem and every other person in her inbox. So when I say that I have to hold her accountable, I don't think at all for a second that she just grabbed the first DM in her inbox and it was someone like, I can help you have fun making meme tokens. I think she had a chance to sit down interview style like a legit business person and interview candidates to sell her IP to. And if that's the case, then this is so very different. You know what? I'll give you the analogy and I'll hand it back to you, Nevin. The differences between third, second, and first degree murder, right? For those of you that are enthusiastic law individuals, is the difference between accidental and premeditation, right? So, like, was this premeditated? Did she know that the team was going to dump those tokens? Man, probably not. So that's not murder one, right? Like, but murder two? Were you involved in a murder that maybe you did? The crime of passion is what a murder two is. Like, imagine you come home and you catch somebody. That's what this is. She's murder two here.
Okay. And so for me and anyone else who doesn't know the rest of the story, so do you believe that the snipers were just the team of people who came to her and said, hey, let's make this meme coin? Or do you think
No, there's real normal
parties?
snipers. Normal snipers got into that too. It wasn't all her team, but that's just the luck of the draw. That's where the ecology of crypto took hold, and they tried to do what they could, and whatever they were going to do, they were going to do. But there were certainly individuals that got in there. It was one of the most sniped launches of 24. We could make a list. By the way, Buzz would be the one to curate this, like most sniped launches of 24, because some of them it was just based on the hype, and she had like Buzz said, the CA was out early, right? Like 2 weeks early, so it wouldn't have been hard to program all the bots to just load up all the ETH and have it all, or the Solana. So yeah, I do think regular people got in, but man, oh man, what a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thoughts are that the market has seemingly, well, Haley's team specifically has put a lot of emphasis on these snipers. I don't even find that to be an issue. Like yes, you should have the foresight if you're kind of curating a team and putting together a team. I think they originally said there was like 26 people working on this. You would expect that you do due diligence with the development team to be able to launch a contract that is not that vulnerable to snipers. But if you put the snipers aside, that's just something that happens in crypto in general. I just think before any launch occurs, you should be putting out a transparency report, especially if it's not a fair launch, which it wasn't. There was a pre-sale. There were tokens that were given to advisors, team, etc. All of that, all of those disclosures should be out prior to the launch. I mean, the definition of a fair launch changes in this industry, but in my opinion, a fair launch is one where all participants know what's going on prior to the launch. And the only thing that was known prior to the launch is really that there's a CA and you can buy it.
They should make a movie, Haley Snow White 2. She went to sleep for 2 weeks, didn't wake up with a kiss, put her with a notice. We'll see how it goes.
It may not be the movie you're talking about, but it might be a Netflix or at least a CoffeeZilla.
Yeah, 100%. I
speaking
think
of,
CoffeeZilla will do a documentary on this, I think.
Go ahead, Yaz.
Yeah, I think speaking of CoffeeZilla, he was even on the Twitter space, right? That she did. And
Yes,
I think
correct.
that's also what threw a lot of people off. And also me personally, I think was just her reaction to criticism. So I think as an adult, it shouldn't be that difficult to understand that, you know, you made a mistake and own up to it and try to hear people out and kind of, you know, evaluate the situation from there and see if or how you can improve the situation, right? So I think the way she handled it wasn't really, you know, what you or what any of us would have wished for. I think that was really one of the more important things that I was thinking about before even coming to the point of, okay, what is going to be the aftermath? Like, is there going to be, or should she be held accountable or not? I think those were like the first questions that I was asking myself, you know,
So
like
some of you guys are
why would-
professional speakers. Yaz, I know you guys do speaking in public. How many spaces do you think she'd ever been to that wasn't just a complete glaze factory? Like, do you think she'd ever faced criticism or had a harsh environment? But some of you guys have been to spaces probably where it's very heated. So her reaction to CoffeeZilla, man, it was the first person that ever looked her in the face and went, "Hey, that Southern Charm doesn't work right here. I need the tokenomics, right? Give me the Hawkonomics or whatever they call them."
But what about Nick though? I think Nick was being very reasonable with her. He wasn't asking any harsh questions.
He was.
He was giving her a lot of space to kind of express herself and kind of just address the most important aspects. Or even the other people on the stage who I know are veterans. Like the way they were talking, it was like obvious that they've done that before. So I was kind of thinking that they would come up with something better than what we got, I guess.
No, you're right. And Nick did his best, and he ended up actually benefiting as much from it as the content creator would want to. I think he got what he wanted either way, which was that viral moment and stuff. But I do respect that he went in there instead of being a douche. He went in there to ask the questions, and he ended up getting his moment anyway because she went to sleep on him, right?
Yeah.
Who else wants to throw down? Block, I haven't heard your opinion yet. Am I right or wrong for going off on my soapbox?
I think you're right. I think we're all right, though, in honesty. Like, I think everybody knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened, and then when it still happened, I mean, who does a toke? Like, bro, I love Doc Hollywood. We've like been cool for the past 2 years, but when I saw that he was involved in this, I was a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like I was disappointed because, like, bro, we know better. Like, who in this room on this panel would drop a token 2 weeks after giving people the CA? Like, you just don't do that. Like, I've had someone ruin one of my friends' launches. It was a few months back, right? The dude gave his whole Discord server he gave the entire Discord servers of degenerate traders the CA, like, and it wasn't 2 weeks ahead of time. It was literally like 30 minutes ahead of time. So we don't need this this long amount of time to be able to snipe the launch, ruin it. Like, it's just the whole situation just boggles my mind. Like, I don't understand why they even did it like the way they did. I haven't gotten a chance to speak with him about it, but I don't think I'll ever understand. Like, and whatever he tells me, I'm not going to understand. So to be honest, I'm just at a loss.
So I've heard of someone building a meme coin launch platform that works with a Dutch auction, so that basically you can't snipe. There's just like a long auction period, and that way, like, the thing gets divided up amongst however many people get into it. Do you guys think that would be a better way to launch meme coins than like the pump fund model, or not?
I kind of want to wait for Buzz to unmute and see if he wants to go in, because I trust his knowledge on these things. Because my first thought that came to mind, if I was trying to FUD that idea, because it does sound cool, is you're still trusting that whoever mints that token to place it on there isn't getting supply. Like, you got to trust that it's happening right. but I do
Well,
like
if
the
it's
model.
but if it's a platform like Punk Fun
Like a
where it's
bonded,
all
like a curve
pre-programmed
like
and so
that?
on, yeah, that way it's a Dutch auction. It lasts like a week. Anybody can hear about it during that time. However many people bid, it gets divided up amongst them at the same price for everybody. Instead of, with these Punk Fun launches, at least the person who buys in first, even just the person at the beginning to the end of the bonding curve, it's such a big difference. So you have the sort of crazy
Sure.
snipe ability right at the very beginning moment.
And I think that in my mind, it would create at least more of an incentive to get off the platform as one unit. Like they'd all want to bond out together instead of which Pump Fund, that it gets to 90% and dumps most of the time and never actually bonds off the
Totally.
platform.
Totally.
So if you did have that, what you're describing, this is the first time I've ever thought about it. I think you'd have a bigger incentive to put yours in and then go shill it, not because you need the next guy to get in so you can dump before bond, but
Right.
because you'd be like, hey, I think this is a really cool thing. And you'll get in at the same level that I do, even though it's been 20 minutes and I already made my buy, because everyone that's coming to your alpha chat's already made their buy before they posted. Sorry to tell you that. That's an interesting idea.
think
Buzz, what do you think of
the-
that?
I mean, it comes down to like a psychology thing, right? Like, are people going to be as equally incentivized to push these tokens if you're not rewarded for being in earlier? I mean, Paul, so you know of a token that both you and I discussed today that sort of did like a Dutch auction pre-sale this past week, and their first candle didn't look too great either. Like I think it just comes down to the psychology, and I'm not sure if Pump.Fun is actually motivated to make the bonding curve process more fair, because the first person that gets in on that bonding curve, there's sort of this flywheel effect in that they're going to be shilling the crap out of it to try to get people in second. Like I'm not sure if it has those same dynamics. If we're just talking about the market of like how does a meme coin birth.
And yeah,
I think it's actually proof is in the pudding, right? Everyone that announced a coin coming from a celebrity, it dumped. Name me one that went well up. And if you would like to change the whole model, I think you'll struggle getting product market fit because people focus on being early as the alpha. And I think it's a free market. Your edge is actually understanding what to look for.
Indexer, can I ask you a question since you just brought that up? I'd love your opinion on this. All of the celebrity tokens but one, and I don't own any, and I'm not shilling. I promised I would eat my own words at one point about this. Mother from Iggy is the only one that has halfway held compared to everything else, which you're right, is down like 90+%. Even Andrew Tate's stuff is in the crapper, right? What do you think about what Iggy Azalea did? Because she came on the scene and got fudded a lot by even people like me, but she did try and stick around, I think, a little bit more. What are your thoughts on what she did?
So when she launched, I followed it a bit on the sidelines. She created utility by using her coin for her telecom company. So she really tried to make something out of it. The last 2-3 months, I didn't actually follow what she was doing, but what I heard, she went into events, met her community, people I even know met her. So she really tried to get involved. But actually, what she's doing right now, I didn't follow her recently.
No, that's fair. Do you think we have to throw that away as an outlier in the sample pool because she's the only one? That's look at Yaz immediately shaking his hand. Yeah, Yaz, we can't use that as the standard model then.
No,
that's
you
what I
can't
would
use it
say.
because.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, MemeIndexer. I apologize. But I would definitely say that it is an outlier. And also listening to Nevin and the suggestion of having like the Dutch auction kind of fair launch. I'm not sure if that is even to be considered a fair launch, but it kind of got me thinking about the stats of Pump.Fund and if it's even beneficial to our industry as a whole to really be feeding platforms like that. Because if you think about it, I think I read this the other day where it's like only 3 or 4% or something like that of users actually made over $1,000 or something like that off of using Pump.Fun. Whereas on the other hand, you have the platform making over 200 million or something like that in revenue, right, since their launch. So I think that's really what I'm thinking about. Like, is that actually something that's like beneficial towards Web3 as a whole? Like, is that something that we want to continue? I guess I'm not sure if I would say like standing behind or like propagating, but it's just kind of got me
I
thinking
think
about
this
that
is
side of
like
things.
a society problem in general. Like it kind of like throw the question the other way of like, is OnlyFans, like something like OnlyFans, is that beneficial to society? Is it something where we have the
But
best
but
engineers in the world working on like
but the difference is,
video
right?
and payments to OF content creators?
I, I understand where you're coming from, but I think it's inherently different since people are using Pump.Fun in the hopes of making money, whereas people are going on to OnlyFans, I guess, for their pleasure or
Spending money.
yeah, like they're very aware that they're not making money, right? Like I think this is like sort of a more sensitive topic, I think. But I understand where you're coming from and the comparison.
I trust in free markets, market dynamics. You get wrecked if you fuck around. You get rich if you fuck around and it goes your way. And you learn by feedback. If you get fucked, you stop doing the thing that didn't work out and you become smarter. So Pump Fund has product market fit. In a few months, they did 3 million revenue. They are rich, having, I don't know what they bought with it, but the founders did great. It's something people like. So I think it's just a product people should learn to use. It's out there. People use it. A lot of people became a millionaire trading the right coins.
And
But when it comes to like launching, I think you should actually have a vision and know what you believe in. I think what we are doing different here with DTF, it's not only believing, but also actually playing the left and the right curve at the same time, which I translate to being a degen, believing in something, but also being capable with the team that's been building in DeFi for more than 4 years, actually building something. So what we're trying to achieve here is actually building a meme coin index, because not many of the people have the knowledge to know which meme coin to buy, and should actually outsource that to an expert or someone that's been trading meme coins for 2 years like me, making a meme coin index which can be traded with like a one-click experience. So even your grandma would be able to buy it. So at the end, it's not only about having a cool idea. I think it's having a cool idea and a useful use case that you're bringing out. And that's why, as a community member in the RSR community, Reserve Protocol, I got actually inspired by their new product launch in the Q1 next year, where there will be a reserve index protocol coming out, where it functions as a platform where you could create decentralized token folios. And it's actually a term that should be used broadly through the whole industry. A lot of people call them just indexes. But we're in the space for actually making resilient and permissionless technology. And the way to get there is by building them decentralized and permissionless. We don't need permission to innovate. That's what I love about Pump Fund. You can create a coin. If you have a cool idea, you just do it in a few clicks. Doesn't cost much. And that's the same philosophy that Reserve Protocol has. You are able to permissionally create a decentralized token folio of a few coins you like and make other people their life easier by just one click getting exposure to that decentralized token folio. So yeah, we believe in something, but we also do a bit more. We also build something here. So that's what we stand for.
I can appreciate that.
The first part of what you said, MemeIndexer, like I agree. It's like it's just capitalism. Like if people want to be gambling on Pump.Fun and with meme coins and whatnot, Pump.Fun's just a platform for them to be raking in revenue, just like OF is for a platform for content creators to be on, and like the most talented people are going to flock to where there's revenue to be made, and I think that's just the nature of the beast. Is Pump.Fun good for crypto? I think no. In general, propagation of more and more tokens is probably not a great thing, but it's very clear that they've, like you said, they've found product market fit, and users want to use it, and they want to pay fees on it, and that's where people are going to flock to.
You could ask the same thing since we're doing analogies. Are casinos good for society? I don't know. No, but we tax the S and out of them and use them on schools and try to fund things, and we try to make the best of a bad situation. So maybe if Pump Fund started building schools for kids who can't read good and also can't read, do math or whatever, then they'd be like, everybody change their opinion, right? A little charity goes a long way when everybody knows you're raking in the butts. So maybe they'll figure out a way to do it. Maybe they'll finally open a school for the degens that have been trading on the platform so we can all learn to read. They'll figure it out, you guys. I think about that a lot. Like what Pump Fund, you guys said, what I wonder what they've done with the money. I think about that too. Like, what do you do when you finally make all that money? What are you still doing around here? Like, you can't be on the platform anymore, right? Do something else. God, go away. Looking at the time, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it is a casino, and I think that, Planet Earth's discovery of meme coins is like Planet Earth's discovery of the slot machine. Once you discover it, the slot machine has such product market fit, it will absolutely never go away. Obviously it's illegal in some places, but I think meme coins is the same way. To me, meme coins will come and go with crypto market cycles in terms of their bubbliness, but I kind of think that there will be meme coins forever from here on out. I don't really think it's a trend that's going to be sort of bubbly for a little bit and then we'll sort of forget about meme coins. Be like, oh, remember when there's meme coins? I think it's going to last forever. Oh,
from Doge to fart and everything in between. Here we are. That's the journey we've taken, and I'm not going to talk about fart much more than otherwise to say that that's the progression of where we've been. Halfway through the show, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching on X right now and you haven't been here the whole time, hello, it's me, Pulse Digital, and Buzz kicking it here on the show. You can comment along if you haven't already been doing that. We appreciate that. And you can share and let everybody know that we're live. Share it to your places and spaces so people can tune into the broadcast. And also, if you're watching and you're a project and you're thinking, man, this is a cool show, I'd love to have a conversation like this too. Send the account that's on right now. I believe we're on the roundtable. Send a DM to the account. Let them know that you would love to have a feature like this because IBC has been incubating projects since 2017, and things like this show and other things are available to you through that VC incubation. So send that message today. We got about 5-6 more minutes, and we're going to go into that AMA with DTF that I promised. But I want to give everybody at least one more chance to go around the room and kind of chime in. Taco, I know you were watching and listening to a lot of that stuff that we just talked about right there before I switched it up with the commercial. What's on your mind?
Man, it's one of those things where I think Pump.Fun has product market fit. We've seen that, as Nevin was sort of saying, on the slot machines. If you're traveling across the US and you're stopping at different gas stations, you see slot machines in the randomest, dirtiest gas station, and they have people sitting at them, that aren't filling with gas. And so I think, though, the expectation to always hit and make it rich on everything you do, no, don't do that. It is a gamble from start to finish. And I think what a lot of people are starting to realize is that is what it is, and they're just having fun. Now, unfortunately, there's a heck ton of bad actors that are in Pump Fun where it literally you can script out via code to launch Pump Funds like factories. I think that if there was a little bit more social auth connectivity to the dev side, and really they're not devs. We're not, if you're creating a token on Pump.Fun, you are a monkey, you are a button clicker. I don't want to take any food away from real devs. I retired my coding days, but I still have fun with a lot of different AI agents and stuff like that, and that's a lot of back end work. But launching a token on Pump.Fun does not make you a dev. I gotta say, if anything, it makes you a monkey. You can click buttons. Good job. But a little bit more social auth. I think Yas loves that that thought on that. And but I don't know. I'm sort of excited to talk more on MemeIndexer because I run an index project as well. And so
well, awesome.
Yeah.
What's your index project?
Ours is MFX. That's a manifest token from Manifest Network. And so we do AI projects. So
nice,
yeah.
Nice. On which chain?
Cosmos. We have a Cosmos chain, Manifest Network. So
awesome, cool.
Yeah.
And so is it just one index, or are there many?
So we have about 185 projects worth of tokens behind MFX, and we now seed up and coming projects doing token swaps because our back end infrastructure is we're decentralized AWS. And so we run in colo data centers around the world. And so we really get to sort of support that decentralized aspect for a lot of projects. So that's the fun thing.
But there's a token that's an index of these different projects?
Yep, that is MFX.
Awesome, cool. Well, maybe you can help us. This is the moment where we are coming to the industry to start the conversation about, let's call these indexes DTFs. A DTF is like an ETF, but it's decentralized, right? So the technical term is decentralized token folio, but for the normal retail person, DTF is just a metaphor to ETF, right? It's the same jump from IPO to ICO. It's sort of the more degen, the more decentralized version of the term. So MFX is a DTF.
No.
That's really cool. And that's networking on the roundtable, by the way. That's how that works. You guys definitely got some conversations to have after this about how all that works. And that's cool to link up like that. That's also the perfect segue into the AMA that we promised. We might as well ride that train since it's already rolling down the tracks, you guys. So let's have a conversation with Nevin and MemeIndexer. For those that haven't been here, let's pretend that they didn't hear any of the things we might have talked about earlier. What is DTF? You said diversified token folio. What does that mean exactly?
It's a decentralized token folio. And so it's basically any token that is redeemable one-to-one for some basket or portfolio of other tokens. And so it doesn't matter which platform it's built on. I'm from Reserve. We have DTF technology, but there's like, a couple dozen DTF platforms out there. And so it works just like an ETF. So if you go buy the S&P 500 ETF, you don't have to go buy each of the 500 companies individually. Same thing with a DTF, you buy one token and you have that one-click exposure to all of the underlying tokens because it's redeemable for that basket of underlying tokens. So just like USDC can be redeemed for $1, any DTF token can be redeemed for all the tokens that it represents. And what's so cool is that it's just like a super obvious application of smart contracts, right? Like, why have a whole investment company that's doing the custody and doing the management or whatever? Like, you can just have all the tokens held by a smart contract. So that's what a DTF is. And then the DTF meme coin. So there's the general idea of DTF that we just talked about. Then there's the DTF meme coin, which relates a little bit to Reserve because at DevCon in Thailand, the Reserve team was talking about DTFs and talking about our upcoming product launch. And MemeIndexer was in the audience and was like, wow, that's awesome. I'm totally going to deploy a meme coin index as soon as that new product comes out. And because he's a degenerate, he decided, why don't I deploy a DTF meme coin right now? So he went ahead and did that. And I wasn't at DevCon. I'm like at home, and see in our Telegram group, oh, someone deployed a meme coin, nice. So, of course, I threw in some SOL because we'd been messing around with meme coins, learning about that part of the industry as we're building this product. I go grocery shopping, I come home, I'm making dinner, and my phone is just like completely blowing up. Take it out, and that 4 SOL was suddenly like $250,000 worth of this token because the thing had made it out of the bonding curve and so on. By the time I went to bed, it was worth over $1 million because the whole community just sort of rushed in and decided, yeah, this is a cool thing. So the DTF meme coin emerged sort of accidentally from my perspective, but I think it's a great group of people who are excited about this general idea, and it's in a way it's like a bet on the category. If we're right that now is the moment in the crypto industry where DTFs get really popular over the next 4 years, then maybe the DTF meme coin will follow. And so that's part of what the DTF folks are interested in. But it's not just a Reserve thing, to be clear. Like, I'm from Reserve. That's part of, we made this image that ended up turning into a meme coin. But the DTF term, the DTF meme coin, is owned by everybody.
Yeah, and DTF stands for down to fuck around, or down to fuck, as people, sorry for my language, but it's the fun part of decentralized token folios, meaning different things at the same time. But yeah, we pumped actually to 10 million in the first day. Then something really cool happened, actually, which started out very serious and very good for the Reserve business. Paul, the new SEC chair, was like in the early days an active advisor, not anymore. But like a few weeks later, there were rumors that the Trump administration would actually get him in office to lead the SEC. So when that rumor came out, we got a lot of attention around RSR token and also the DTF token. And then the day after, when it became official that he was elected, we even reached 40 million in like a very sharp increase. So we definitely got some eyes on us. We have more than 5,000 token holders. Like for the people out there that never traded meme coins, the most important thing for meme coins is having fun, having token distribution, and having a vision. Like, why do you believe in something? I think we have all of those, and also a plan to actually create distribution. We're now looking into ways to actually distribute DTF through Twitter by just sending DTF to people that we think are doing their research and getting to know DTF to actually help us get token distribution in the hands of people that are interested. And what we really like here is actually creating a sustainable infrastructure for meme coins where you have a lot of communities being vibrant and it becomes an identity for holding a token. I mean, I was an early trader in SPX, in Mockcoin, and it's a culture. It's the way you move. It's the way you identify yourself. It's the same way like you buy an iPhone and you identify yourself with an iPhone because you can actually demonstrate, I have money to buy an expensive phone. That's actually one of the biggest reason a luxury brand works. It's actually the same thing with meme coins. Meme coins are like the new industrial revolution where you scale on mindshare, you don't scale on software, like Murat said. I borrowed that one from him. But he said actually that people that believe in something, they only get tested by the markets. Can they hold through a dip? Can the community hold through a 90% decline? That's what you saw with SPX, for example. I invested in SPX in the first week. I actually saw the dev rug. He deleted Twitter. He deleted his Telegram as well, and actually joined the first X space where I actually witnessed the community takeover with my own eyes. And it was pretty scary and pretty degen to choose for myself to be stupid and just hold the token and not sell at that point. But that's what most of the time it takes to actually have a winner and not be like stressed about price action in the short term. And that brings us actually to why I believe this DTF concept, like creating a decentralized token folio, is good and healthy for the whole meme coin ecosystem, is because you do two things. You create some natural buying pressure from people that actually want to get exposure but don't know what to buy. And that's why I'm totally not stressed about price. I'm fully bullish on the idea, and I think every person that understands what we're doing here is actually good for the meme coin ecosystem in a whole. And the funny part is the other meme coin projects were actually very friendly and very coexistent, because this whole idea is creating a new home for thriving communities that created the meme coin for all those years and want to actually unite, because we have one thing in common. Everyone believes in something, and that something can be something different, right? We don't have to compete. We could actually work together. And I think DTF is an excellent place to do it, while actually onboarding our grandma to buy our bags, right? So we don't have to be too serious always. And I think by building the right projects or products, you should actually focus on how can I make it so stupid simple that a person that even didn't touch a PC would actually understand how to buy a thing like this, right? So what we're doing right now is, let me share my screen. I'll show you like a really quick preview. Let me know when the screen is up.
Yeah, we'll get the back office team to share the screen right now. Here we go.
So before the stream, I created a meme coin index of 19 coins. I'll scroll to it. Of course, Fartcoin is a part of it. Unicorn Fart Dust as well. But as you can see, I promised my community once the product is live, DTF will always be part of this index. And in this example, it has a 5% weight, which is the highest among all of them that are in this index. I created this index 30 minutes before the stream. It already is yielding 1% profit. It's a DTF with a minting fee of 2%. So once you buy into this decentralized token folio, you pay 2% minting fee, which goes to the curator, which is in this case me. And it can actually be anyone else. And that's why I'm so super bullish on what the Reserve Protocol team is building. They are building permissionless technology. And this technology is actually built for people that are very successful in trading and actually sharing their portfolio with anyone that could actually benefit from it, because making themselves rich could actually be true as well by creating a decentralized token folio, because you'll be earning on people that actually buy your index. And if you perform well over the weeks or over the months, it might be even your full-time job, because so many people buy your decentralized token folio. And there you have it, guys. We created a new creator economy for people that are actually successful traders. So what you'll be doing here, we'll release it in a few days. We are in testnet live through our Telegram community. So if you want to get involved, you just share, click on the invite link to join our Telegram, and you'll be able to play around with it, report some bugs. And once we are happy with all the things resolved, we'll open up for the whole public. So we'll be running weekly rewards. We'll be actually giving rewards to top traders and top decentralized token folio curators. The top 3 people will get a sizable amount that they would be happy with. And the people that are also on the leaderboard will also get some, which helps in our token distribution. And this way, we're actually doing 2 things. We're building a fantasy game to get people familiarized with how to trade tokens without losing any set. And once we are ready in Q1, we'll have the real money version live through the Reserve Protocol, where I'll be creating the meme coin index, I'll call it. It will have a maximum of 21 meme coins in it, which I'll announce pretty close to the real announcement of the product going live in Q1, and actually list large cap, mid cap, and low cap meme coins to this index, and actually create a good performing meme index, which in this case is a really nice decentralized token folio that would be then curated by me. And I invite everyone that is good in trading to create a profile, and actually if you succeed, you'll have a nice side hustle.
So can I ask about like the nuts and bolts of the product? Like if me as Buzz, if I go to the platform, can I create an index?
Yeah, you can create an index by clicking on this button. You'll give it a name, a ticker. You'll explain your people what they're buying. You could say, I'm focusing on AI meme coins. You click your socials, you add them here, and your website, so people can actually find you on the leaderboard when they click on you. We'll add a feature later that they can click on your name and actually find you on Twitter, and even DM you, like, I really like your index, I'm buying it. Please keep me up to date once you have good new ideas. And you can create a banner, and once you do it, you can start adding the tokens by just like you're used to when you go to Dex Screen to search for a token. You could add it and publish your decentralized token folio.
But one thing I want to just make sure is clear is this platform that MemeIndexer is showing right now is like a play money paper trading version of a DTF creator. And Reserve is launching sort of the live actual on-chain version of this in early 2025 with a different interface. Like what you're seeing now, that's just a DTF meme coin community project. And actually what's so fun about it being just paper trading is, you know, it's just a really low barrier to entry. You can go mess around and create sort of any DTF you want. You can buy sort of whatever you want. Everyone starts with the same amount of money, so you just sort of see who does better. You can make money because the DTF community is sort of crowdfunding DTF rewards for those people who are at the top of the leaderboard, but you can't lose any money. So it's kind of just a fun game. It's a fun way to explore it. And also, because it's all off-chain and just play money, there's none of the normal constraints of blockchain. So you don't have to worry about like all the difficulties of bridging tokens across chains. You could just create a DTF that has tokens from any chain. You can have Bitcoin and Doge and Sol and everything all together with no problem. And then in early 2025, Reserve is deploying a version of this that has a few constraints because it's actually real, it's actually in the blockchain, but it is similarly open and permissionless. So Buzz, to your question of like, can you just go create that? You will be able to just very easily, like with a similarly easy deployment flow on Solana, on Base, and on Ethereum, create a token that's backed by, depending on the blockchain, a pretty large number of other tokens. And it's super easy and permissionless. And then when you do that with the Reserve protocol, at least, and different DTF platforms take a different approach to this, but in our case, you create the DTF, but you can also choose the governance token. And so it's up to you how to launch that governance token. You could create it and have it all for yourself. You could do a Dutch auction launch like we were talking about earlier. You could have the governance token be a token that you create on pump.fun and people can ape into it. Or you can bring an existing token. So if you have like a DeFi project that already has a utility token or a governance token, you could bring that and have your community govern a whole suite of DTFs that you create that are relevant to your product or your industry. Or if you're like another meme coin, you could use that token. So like the DTF meme coin on Solana could be used to govern a bunch of different DTFs on Solana once this product is live. So there's a whole lot of expressiveness and creativity. It doesn't permit for creating a token that includes anything across all chains. You can only include tokens that have actually already been bridged from whatever blockchain to the platform that you're deploying on. But that's still a pretty wide universe. And because it will be live on Solana and Base and Ethereum, that covers like quite a lot of the available tokens. And we were talking about earlier, how Pump.Fun is producing so many tokens. There's something like 10,000 new tokens every single day at this point, and there's something like 4 million total tokens, which is like completely nuts. Obviously, a bunch of them you can just ignore, but we do really think now is actually a great moment for the crypto industry overall to embrace this idea of a DTF in the same way that TradFi has embraced ETFs and make it so that you can just like click and bet on an entire narrative all at once, because it does get sort of exhausting. It's almost impossible to keep up with like the entire space for all these different spaces. And I just want to add one more piece like real fast. I don't want to spend a bunch of airtime on Reserve, but just to make it clear, Reserve created this technology to create DTFs that are indexed as a bunch of things. We have this long-term vision, like the actual motivation for doing this isn't that we were actually super into like meme coins and deep gen trading, although we've gotten into it as a team, we're having fun with it. But we think that in the very, very long term, like 20 years from now, it makes sense to have a token that is an index of basically like all the world's assets. Like we think that like all stocks and bonds and everything will be on chain eventually. And you can mix crypto and traditional assets and have, in the way that we have the S&P 500 ETF, we think there'll be a token that's basically just an index of like all the world's assets. And we actually think that that index could be sort of the optimal store of value. If you think about it, people don't choose to store their value with just one asset, like just gold or just dollars or just Bitcoin. Everybody holds a diversified portfolio. And so when we think about, we're sort of monetary policy wonks, when we think about the possibility of the US dollar having issues, maybe 20 years from now, 30 years from now, who knows, national debt can be a bitch. We think that an index of everything is actually like a really amazing alternative to have in the world alongside Bitcoin and gold and other stores of value. So that's actually like the ideology that's driving us. But right now we're just focused on like, let's be the BlackRock of crypto and create, this open platform that, unlike BlackRock, lets anybody create a DTF and anybody profit from it. Because when you create a DTF with Reserve and you create that governance token earns fees from the DTF management fee that you set. And so, you can create it. You could sell that governance token to raise some cash in order to promote your asset. You could divide it amongst team. You could have a vesting schedule. So all of the normal token dynamics apply, and it creates this like super simple, like small number of clicks factory to create these products for anybody. But like you said, Taco, you don't have to be a dev. It's not for devs. It's just like Pump Fun. It's more parameters to set. But you saw that index that MemeIndexer created on the paper trading thing. Like you really can deploy one of these things in 5 minutes if you know the tokens that you want to put in. It's a super low barrier to entry.
So a question two questions I have for you right now. The paper trading is really cool because it allows people to actually learn how to use the platform before going live, learn what to do or not do. If I'm deploying on Solana, it would be it will probably be some variation of Taco. Let's just not lie about that. But do I actually have to have the tokens in my wallet to fund the original ETF, or am I pegging to these token prices and then the contract is buying them up itself?
Yeah, so you're just defining the definition of the DTF, but when you create it, the TVL is 0, and then anybody can come and mint it, and they can do that by bringing their own capital. And technically, you have to bring all of the coins in the basket, but the reserve front end has Zaps built in, so you could just use USDC or Sol, just a single asset. It'll automatically trade via DEX pools into all the relevant assets and mint that token. And actually, technically, it'll check to see if there's a better price via minting or via just trading via the liquidity pools, and it'll give you the best price.
And so then, if I'm making a DTF that is, the DTF itself can be cross chain. So then, if let's say I launch it originally on Solana, but I have like Mr. Miggles in there because cat and tacos. I don't know, that makes sense for some reason. But and then I have some other other tokens from ETH or some unicorn fart dust in there. Is the user having to pay extra gas to buy those token pieces up?
So you can only, at least for the first version of the live product, you can only include tokens from other blockchains if they've already been bridged via like Wormhole or Layer 0 or whatever. Right. If they haven't, you can go do the work to bridge it yourself with some of these protocols. Our interface doesn't do that for you yet. And then, yeah, actually what's likely to happen is similar to TradFi, probably market makers will be doing like large mints and redeems, and retail will be buying in a liquidity pool. And so that market maker would have to go through the work of gathering those assets from across from the other blockchain if there's no liquidity for the bridged version. If there's liquidity for the bridged version on the blockchain that it's running on, then it could all be done just with the Zap.
Perfect. All right. That answers some of that questions. And then the big question is, could I make a DTF of DTFs?
Absolutely. You can include any token. So you can make infinite amounts of hierarchies. Like the liquidity and issuance might get like a little weird at some point, but yep, there's no reason not to.
Yeah. And so you guys are looking at a launch in Q1 2025. That's 12 months. That's like 15 years in a crypto bro's life, man.
The answer is very soon. We can't give an exact date because it's development. You never know exactly when, but the code is already in audit for the Ethereum version, and it's scheduled to go into audit in January for the Solana version.
Yeah, nice. Who you guys have been doing your security audit?
We have 3 different auditors. The biggest fish is Trail of Bits, but I think Code Arena is one of them, and I forget the name of the other one.
All right. And Code Arena is awesome because especially if you're building out in the open, continuous 0 days. I love that piece. What have been some of the roadblocks that you guys have been facing building this? Like what's some of the cool technological overcomes that you have done, or what are the roadblocks right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Reserve has had one DTF protocol, the Reserve Yield protocol, live for a little over a year, and has like almost 400 million in TVL right now. And that's focused on bundling together assets that produce yield, like CUSDC or like staked ETH. Like there's the biggest like staked ETH index on that protocol. With that, the big barrier is that every single asset you include in the basket needs to have an Oracle price feed, because the protocol needs to be able to tell when yield has accrued and when the asset is appreciated. And it's really cool for harvesting yield, but it means that for that version of the protocol, you can't just include any token. You can only include tokens that have gotten pretty big to the point where someone's willing to pay for an Oracle price feed. And then you have to write an additional contract to like parse that price feed. So it's meant that it's a much more closed universe. Whereas one thing we're excited about technologically with this new one is the protocol doesn't need to know the prices of the underlying assets. No Oracle price feeds are necessary because the fee is just a percentage of the total underlying tokens. Whatever they're worth doesn't really matter. So that's what allows us to open it up to just like any token. And even if it's a meme coin you deployed an hour ago, you can include it. So that's one technological barrier we had before that we're excited to overcome.
So
Now,
keeping an eye on the clock as we are, Taco. We're coming up close to the hour. I'd like to ask a couple of questions of them before we wrap up at the hour. Is there anything you guys haven't had a chance to mention, or maybe a call to action as we're closing up? Because we've got a lot of people that come in here. Final thoughts, or maybe something you'd like to direct everybody here to go do for you?
Yeah, please. So what I would like to add here is we started the DTF Community Fund. It's actually started by me. I donated 1 million DTF tokens to it because our early community members from the Asia side of the world, they got hacked. They used DEX as an exchange. The exchange got hacked and they lost money. So I'm now going through the proofs of the victims that got, that lost money. And next Monday, I'll start distributing like a relief for them. I'll try to make them whole a bit. I can make them whole like fully. But it's really cool to see that when I started it, if you can share my screen, the community actually added funds to it. So we're now sitting at like roughly 30K value in that community fund, which will actually be used for centralized exchange listings and all sorts of things that can actually help the community grow. But my 1 million that I contributed will be going as a pro rata relief for the people that got hacked. The second thing is, which is really cool, is when I launched the token, I went to sleep. Then I woke up and then I got a message on Twitter from Nevin tagging me, "Dev, please don't sell." And when I woke up, it was like 6 million market cap. And the second day I met with Nevin for the first time, and I actually heard his story and what he was building with Reserve. And I was like, I'm happy that I got a chat that was the first ape because we actually managed to contact many of the whales that bought early and got them into a vesting contract. So the biggest whales that hold DTF, they are vesting over 6 to 12 months. Me, myself, as Dev, I'm vesting over 6 months. Nevin is vesting over a year, and the biggest other whale is also vesting over a year. So we're not like a typical meme coin project where most of them have like supply control to actually create a only upright chart, which I understand sometimes because we want it, but I really believe in like an organic price action. So I was really happy that I got in touch with whales that are actually aligned on the success and believe in permissionless technology and are already some of them part of like believing in the RSR Reserve vision. So where this whole DTF concept is being built on. So yeah, I just want to add that. Keep an eye on our Twitter. In a few days, the application, the fantasy game we call the DTF Beta Simulator will go live for everyone to use. If you're good, you'll be in the top 3. You'll get some exposure to our token. We'll be dropping every week. And if you want to follow our community fund and how it's growing, you can see it here, transparent and on the blockchain, which I'm very proud about. And it only shows that we have a strong cult community actually believing in something, and not only believing, but building something together here, which is the decentralized tokenfolio. Nevin, do you want to add something here?
That's all great. I'll just add that if you want to learn more about Reserve, check out reserve.org. And if you're into this DTF stuff, check out dtf.fun.
Excellent, guys. I appreciate you choosing a Mario Nawfal Video Spaces to come talk about DTF today. We like to bring these types of things to our audience. I think there's some people that will be very excited about the idea of baskets and decentralized token folios. So thanks for being here and having the conversation. Thanks to all the listeners and all the viewers that came through and watched the video. And thank you to the panel. Taco, I appreciate you being here. Block for showing up, and Buzz for coming in at the last minute to slide into the co-host spot. I appreciate you, and also the team at IBC for setting this up. You guys know you've probably talked to the team on the back end. There's a lot of people that put out news and make all these shows possible for us. So I always extend my gratitude to them. So if you were here on the show today, I just want to say thanks to you. This wraps me up for the weekend. I'll see you guys on the backside next time around on another Mario Nawfal X Live Spaces. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you guys. Have a good one.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to DTF.fun right now.